tell, we are here today to talk more about the One Another's card set. This is the card set that Brave Little Taylor over on Instagram has designed. She does these card sets ever so often for the Illustrated Faith Print and Pray shop, and I showed them recently. I showed how I'm setting mine up, how I plan to work through them, lots of ideas, and so that video is down below in the description, and also where you would be able to find the card set if you're interested, and also some of these other goodies I'm going to show you. But in my last video, I did not have the physical products that Illustrated Faith put out to go with her digital card set, and so I'm like, you know what, I want to come back and do a little update video so there you guys will know. And not everyone follows me on Instagram, and that's okay, but I do share updates there, and I thought, well, just in case, I wanted to make sure that everyone saw in case you needed ideas or that kind of thing. So Illustrated Faith, like I said, had the little cards, and so you'll see this One Another's, and there's all these little cards that are in the set. Well, those are all digitals, so you print those out. But if you wanted to pick up some of the physical product they had to go with the card set, you know, it's not necessary, but it is really fun if you can get it. So they had these little traveler's notebooks, and there was some of this really fun washi. How cute is that? And then also a stamp set. Let me grab that real quick. That coordinated, and you see I've had fun using it. With this big dolly, how cute is that? Cherries, all sorts of fun things. And so this was also available, and you could buy in a bundle, you could get it separate, and I will link down below so you can still grab these goodies if you're interested. I believe they still have them, or maybe some of them, but what I wanted to show y'all was how you could use the Traveler's Notebook in case anyone wanted to grab it, and or if you've already grabbed it, you kind of would have an idea. So to give you a quick rundown of some of the other ideas I did, I won't go into detail. Like I said, that other video is linked down below. But I wanted to do a memory dex and have a card for each day. And like my goal is to take, there's 3 scriptures at the bottom of each card. And my goal was to take like probably the first scripture, the primary one. And I wanted to write it out on a separate memory dex card behind it. Okay, and so that was kind of my thing for these. I've started just a few of them so that I could show y'all. So there was day 2, and then I wrote out a scripture on my little card. And then another idea was showing you, I don't have my Bible sitting right here, but it's using that Encourage Devotional Bible. Y'all know I love it. And doing little mini entries. I printed the cards in a mini version on my printer. I have a printer video that gives you kind of some tips and pointers. Everyone's printer is different, but you want to do it to scale them down, or multiple sheets per page. And I'll link a link to that video about the printer, because I always get asked how to do that. But they're little mini ones, and I thought that would be fun to do entries in my Encourage Bible. And so here is an idea if you want to write out scripture. So that's something I like to do when I'm studying. I don't want to just pull the card, read the scripture real quick, and be done with it. I like to pull my Bible, make notes in my Bible, but also use my Traveler's Notebook to write out the scripture. That way I'm really soaking it in. I feel like, you know, they say in school when you're studying or you're in a class, if you are listening, you're reading it, and you're writing it down, you're more likely to remember it and be able to retain it, and therefore pass your test, right? So that's kind of what my thing is here. If you read it, you reread it, and then you write it down, you know what I mean? It kind of marinates and soaks in a little bit better. So that's what my thing was. I wanted to do, to write out the scripture and not just read it and bypass it, you know, like we're guilty of doing, myself included. So here was my little Traveler's Notebook. So you'll see under here, I also, before I open it and show you, I was getting some requests to do some printables in my Etsy shop, and there's a link down to my Etsy shop below if you're new here. And I do printables, different kinds, and I have lots of standard designs that I like to change colors and the design just a little bit to tweak it to coordinate with certain devotionals or, you know, seasons, Easter, that kind of thing. And so for this set, I've done some colors and things that will coordinate really good with the One Another set. I got some requests wanting to know, was I going to be doing some printables? I wasn't sure, and so I thought, why not? That way you have them, it makes it easy to go along with the card set and the printables that are already with one another's. These are just a little bit different. So I love these grid blocks. Y'all see them, and I use them all the time in my 100-day Less Hustle More Jesus book, and they're just so fun to use. They go great for title starters, backgrounds, I mean tabs, you name it. You can use these for like 50,000 different things. So got a set of those in the shop. Here is one that I printed when we talked about mini size or multiple sheets per page. That's how I printed these little speech bubbles. So some of these colors, I always say go to my Etsy shop because sometimes it doesn't give the true color, but these look pretty close. These are speech bubbles that I printed half to the page, and so what you would get is it would be on my full size. I just did multiples because I wanted to see how the little ones, I've never printed the speech bubbles mini, and I wanted to use these in my Encourage Bible like I talked about for those little mini entries. So that's what I did for that one. Let me say this, my printer, when I hit multiple sheets per page, it prints, it doesn't print multiple, it prints it at half, and then I just have to pay close attention to which side it prints on. So when I put the paper back in the printer, it'll print, on the opposite side. Then there's a pattern paper bundle. Someone had said, yes, I want the pattern paper. I really want pattern paper for this one. So I did pattern paper bundle. It has this sheet and then a sheet that comes with it with washi strips. Really fun to print that on some clear sticker paper. I love doing that, and so this would be fun to cut out for some memory decks cards. And then I have also got this little fun set that I printed to show y'all, which is these little, they're project life size of the journaling cards with the grid background, which I think is fun, so you can put lots of notes on it or layer them. I love the little framed colors, and these would be so fun to cut and print, to cut out and use for your Memory Decks cards as well. So these are just a few of the new collections to go with this set. There are lots of others, collage arts, page starters, art elements. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a link to my Etsy shop below and you'll see all of those goodies. And then I just had someone also mention something that would be super fun. Some fun shapes, maybe some hints would be maybe some fruit that would be really fun to use as a Memory Decks card, and not just having that standard card size, but maybe a little bit different shaped card. And so I'm working on that. So I will say this, make sure you are following me on Instagram if you want to, because when those release, if things go as planned, I will share that with y'all over on Instagram. But I didn't have them done yet at the time that I needed to get this recorded. So like I said, when you go check out the shop, keep an eye out for those as well, and hopefully they will be there if everything goes according to plan. So here is my Traveler's Notebook. These Traveler Notebooks are the soft touch on the cover. If you have bought the devotional kits from Illustrated Faith and the Traveler's Notebooks, you know what I'm talking about. You can hear it. It's a really nice quality. Durable too, which is what I really love about that. Now I just added this just a red paper clip, and this is some ribbon that was already ruffled, and it's actually like this pinky and red peachy colored flowers with little green leaves, but when it's like this, you don't notice. It almost looks like it could be strawberries, right? And I bought this on clearance. I showed this in my other video for 99 cents for the whole thing at Hobby Lobby. So always keep an eye out for the clearance section. And I use it to mark what page I'm on. So that's why I have it, and it just adds a little cute touch. So when you open it up, your first pages show you a little intro about what this whole love one another, the one another's, what this whole set's really all about. And she does a great job of detailing that for us, because when you read the one another's, that's like, what? So that goes into great detail about that. And then over here she has a guide for all 28 days. It has what we're going to focus on: love one another, accept one another, encourage one another. And then she has some of the scriptures listed. The scripture she lists is the first scripture that's on the cards that I mentioned earlier. So those are the scriptures that I'm pulling to use on my memory decks. And then there's additional scriptures like I showed you on the cards. Not just those for each day, but if you needed to do a condensed version, you could just go with the one scripture if that's what you had time for. And those are the two colored pages, and then the rest of the pages are blank. They're not lined, they're just blank white pages. Okay, so you can kind of have a blank slate to do what you want. Here is where I wanted to show you what I was wanting to do for each day. So it's not super artsy, it's not super creative. I wanted to save all of that for the memory decks cards, which is why I've, added little embellishments on them. That's why I've written out scriptures, added the cute little watermelon ephemera and stuff to the top, so that can be my creative outlet. My Encourage Bible mini entries are going to be for creativity. And then over here, this is simply for writing scripture. I don't want it to be something that I feel like I need to go through and every day needs to have this, elaborate layout using stamps and washies and all the ephemera and ribbon and going crazy. I want to keep the scripture writing simple, and that's what I want to do exactly. Just focus on the scriptures and keeping that the focus on this. So you'll see that I've added just a few little touches of things, and that didn't take me long at all. You could go through, and I'm hoping to be able to do that, go through if you wanted, and you could do it like a week at a time, or you could do all 28 days and have that already set up so that, if you wanted to have it labeled for each day on a page, you could. I will say, when I counted it out, I don't think there's 28 pages so you would have enough for a page a day. That's the only thing that I noticed. My plan is that, like some days there's really long scripture and I'm not going to write out all of that scripture, and I may be able to like half, pages and do 2 days in one. Or even better, what I could do is take like even the patterned paper, which may not work. I could use the patterned paper and do it on the back. But here's a really cool idea, is if you need that extra space. So let's say I did day 2 here, and I want to add a little insert for day 3, or have day 1 do the insert as day 2 to keep it in order, and then day 3 over here. What I could do is take the little journaling cards and just attach them in the binding here, or the center, with washi adhesive, and write out the scriptures for that day and put them in there, and have like, if there's 3 different scripture references, have 1, 2, 3 references for day 3, each scripture's on a different card, and then just slide them right in there. Does that make sense? I hope it does. If it doesn't, let me know in the comments below and I'll try to clear that up. But that's something that you could do using the journaling cards, so you get extra pages and space. You could maybe even just put in some extra white paper at the end yourself with washi. So the possibilities are endless there. If you want to add some extra space, you could even, if you really wanted to, take it apart and add more, but I'm not going to mess with it, because if you saw my other video when I made the sticker book, me and the stapler, it's just, it is what it is. So that's not what I'm doing. But here is what I did to show y'all to make it simple, was I used the stamps, and I really want to show that to you, because if you get the stamp set, or if you have it, you get the flag that has the lining and the little stitchings, and then you get this dark solid flag, okay? What's really cool is use a light colored ink for this one for your background and a darker one for your top layer, and that's what I did here. So I wanted to use this blue and peachy color, and so that's how my flag is. I've got the peach for that solid one, and then this blue color for the top stitching, and then I can still see to write on top what day it is and what topic we're on. That's what I did there. Then I used some little like markers that I have for stamping, and stamped that little strawberry. So just, it doesn't have to be complicated. I did like taking the washi and just, kind of putting the washi throughout the page in little places to add a little pop. This sticker is from the washi packaging, which I always save. And then this is one of the little cards from the ephemera set. And then you have plenty of space where I wrote out scripture. So I wrote it out, and then went back and like highlighted. These are I believe they're mild liner. I should have brought them up here with me, but they're the mild liner like highlighters or markers that you can use as highlighters, I guess. That kind of goes both ways. And then I went over the scripture references so I would know, and those really would pop out to keep them separated. I'm not crazy that it turned out that it was this more of a fluorescent pink. I thought it would be more of a light like baby pink. So I'm not too happy about that, but that's okay. That's just being picky, right? So that's kind of my plan for using the Traveler's Notebook. I wanted to give you guys some ideas and update you on what else I was going to be doing as I work through, in case any of you, wanted some more ideas, then you would have it. And it also shows you some things you could probably do with a stamp set, and I can't wait to use this set more. It is so fun. One thing I'll show you that I did use the colors and inks that I used for that little badges were these, the Versamagic chalk inks. I love them. I really do. They give a great application of ink. It stamps very evenly, and I loved using them. This was the pixie dust that I used, and then for the blue color, which actually I didn't know if it would match well, but it did do really good. This is Ocean Depth. Okay, I bought these from Illustrated Fates when they had sets of them at one time, which sell out super fast. But I know By the Well for God, their Etsy shop has them. I'll leave a link for those down below too. But I will say, if you're going to use those, I don't usually use a heat gun to dry them because they don't usually have to be, and see, they're dry now after some time. I think where I went wrong was I did it down here at the bottom, and then I was writing, and my wrist or my palm smudged it a little bit, and I probably should have left it for just a little bit. I did it too soon. So I don't heat set or anything with them. Just be careful that they may smudge if they're not completely dry. So I don't know that I'll be doing it at the bottom. I'll probably be stamping them all at the top from now on, just because, you know, now you have that little smudge. But again, I'm just being picky. It's all good. And that's my plan as I work through this. I clip off the page I'm on, and then I'm good to go. So that is the one another, some more ideas. I hope that kind of gives you some ideas on things you can do with a physical bundle that Illustrated Faith has. If you have not printed your cards yet, go for it. We are starting. I'm not sure if I'm going to have this video up before or on the day, but just in case, it is starting Monday, August 19th. If you want to work through these and follow Brave Little Taylor on Instagram as a community, and she'll be posting them each day and her thoughts and things on them. So that's a lot of fun to do together. Make sure you go ahead, print your printables from my Etsy shop. If you're seeing this after the 19th, it is okay. Join us, jump in. You don't have to start on the first day. If you see this 5 months later, jump in and start. The cards, the printable cards are always available at Illustrated Faith, and I'll have the digitals in there as well in my shop that you could use. So head over, grab you some printables, grab your cards, your bundles, whatever you choose to do, and work through it. And I know that it'll be really fun to do this one another's. It's just a different topic that I've never thought about, but when you start thinking about one another's and when that's written in the Bible and in Scripture, it's really fun to see how intentional that phrase is. So, have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, and also make sure you have subscribed and clicked that little bell button so that you get notified when the next video is out if you choose. And I'll talk to y'all again soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.